Alright, welcome guys to another Godot live stream. I'm your host Morgan Ozpin, and we are back to freaking creating our game in Godot. So, if you guys can recall from our last stream, we pretty much saw me rage quit a little bit because I was finding it difficult to get the spring physics to work with my pinball here. But after some quick research via looking at some YouTube tutorials online, I am able to finally get this working. And to show you guys how I was able to do it, let me just first show you the present result of the physics of my spring. So if I load this up, don't mind the fact that my camera is linked to the spring or anything, but if I load this up and I launch it, it pretty much works just as fine. And also I created like a shortcut for restarting my game, just in case you guys want to restart it. And plus it helps me like easily debug everything here. But so far, my game works just as fine. Look at that, it works. And just to make sure that the code can be reusable, if I move this over here, I've already like created like some logic for my for the right flipper here. And if this were to fall down here, it will launch it like so. Look at that, it works. Now, should I explain how I was able to make how I was able to get this ball to work after some quick debugging offline? Well, don't mind if I do. So first things first, I made sure that the spring, this side of the spring that is, responsible for launching the ball, is turned into a character body 3D. The ball still stays as a rigid body, and the reason why I turned this into a character body 3D will be explained in just a moment here. But essentially, it gave me a bunch of code methods that aren't accessible if I made this a rigid body. And plus, after some research, I realized that if I were going to be using a rigid body here for the spring, I will not be able to use the velocity property that's only available in the character body 3D, which allows me to make sure that the ball doesn't clip when the spring launches it away from the spring. Because if I were only going to be using the position property for the rigid body for the spring, it will only like teleport the spring instead of like actually pushing it. So that's why every frame or so the spring kind of like passes through the ball, and that's why it always goes down the freaking pinball machine here. So instead of using a rigid body 3D, I used a character body 3D for this spring. Now, secondly, if you guys saw like the last few moments of my other stream, you would know that whenever I try to load the spring towards the back here, if I want to move it back, I would press the spacebar or the launch button to load up the spring. But whenever I press and hold the launch button, it will always like move it along the along this direction instead of this direction. And the reason why that was the case was because my whole pinball machine was working sideways in a way. I mean like as in like the pinball machine is kind of rotated slightly towards a 45-degree angle. But the velocity property can only be moved via the global axis of my spring holder. So if the entire pinball machine is rotated 45 degrees, the pinball machine, the pinball holder of the spring here will move at an angle, because even though I rotated the pinball machine, the axis of the entire scene didn't like change at all. So to fix that, I pretty much turned the pinball machine back to its original rotation, and then I also dealt with the gravity of the entire scene, because the reason why I was rotating the pinball machine at an angle was because I wanted the ball to kind of move towards this side, because that's where the supposed gravity direction should be, like going along this side of the Z direction. So instead of rotating the entire pinball machine to make use of the gravity, I pretty much just manipulated the gravity direction in the project settings instead. So if I search up gravity here, I think it's under physics. Yeah, physics properties. I pretty much manipulated not the default gravity, but the default gravity vector, which gives me the direction in which the gravity force will be applied to my rigid bodies. So by default, I think this is set to -1 on the Y. Okay, there's a police car outside my house. Never mind that. But I'm pretty sure this is set to -1, 0, -1, and 0 for the vector free here. But instead, but I manipulated a little bit so that I added a little bit more force towards the Z direction, specifically 1, so that my ball will fall along the Z direction. And I still kept the Y property because I want the ball to at least stick towards the floor of my pinball machine. So that's why I'm applying a little bit of some Y force here. So that pretty much solved the entire gravity section of my pinball, as well as the bug wherein my pinball spring moves at a diagonal direction. So all of that solved. I think there would have been a more simpler way to fix that by manipulating the global axis of my freaking spring, but so far I still haven't found a way to do that. But instead, I just did that entire solution instead. And other than that, another thing I wanted to fix is the fact that I wanted to freely manipulate how much push force there is whenever the ball gets launches from the spring. Oh. Nachos? Okay. Wait, I'm still streaming. Okay, now. Okay. So guys, my mom just brought me nachos. I'll probably eat that in under like 2 hours or something, because unlike my other stream, I might probably just do this stream for maybe 2 hours or so, because I notice that whenever I do longer streams, my mood just goes down by a ton. Especially when all I'm doing in the stream is just trying to figure out trying to figure out how to fix a bug in my game. So we'll probably limit this stream to about 2 hours, then I'll probably do some other debugging stuff offline. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm going to tell you guys how I was able to manipulate the push force being exerted whenever the spring launches towards the ball. So how I was able to do that was pretty much, I saw this tutorial by this one guy named Magicayo Games called Character Body to Rigid Body 3D Interaction, which pretty much told me how to push an object in your game in Godot. In this video, he talks about how to push an object via if you're making like a 3D a 3D platformer for your game. But I pretty much just reuse his code for my pinball machine. Specifically, his function is part of the tutorial when he creates this function called push away rigid bodies. I still have no idea how this works fully, but essentially this entire function applies an impulse velocity somewhere between the pinball's mesh and the pinball's collider. I'm not sure if that's making sense to you guys, but it's applying some impulse velocity towards the section wherein my ball meets the collider, and then it just does a bunch of math here, and that's how I was able to like manipulate the push force of my character. More specifically, it's more so reliable on this variable here, the push force here. Again, I'm not sure how this works technically, but I think what this function is doing is it's getting the normal of my pinball. It is applying some push force based on the normal of my pinball, and it pretty much negates the normal of my pinball, so that's pushing away from my object, then multiplying it by the push force to give me the impulse velocity I really want to apply on my object, so that my pinball can be pushed in the appropriate force that I want it to. So that's how I was able to make this spring. The spring. It's all fixed, and just to make sure, and just to test out whether this function can be applied for the rest of my my objects in the scene, I've also reused the function towards my flipper here. So if I play this, it should launch it as I wanted to, and it works. Look at that! Look at that! Now the only thing that I changed, in the function of the flipper compared to the spring here is that I pretty much rendered the velocity diff in push direction useless here, because there's technically no velocity being applied to this right flipper here, because all I'm doing is manipulating its rotation. Its velocity stays at 0, and I think in a way if the velocity stays at 0, this entire function is just rendered useless. So to fix that, under the right flipper function here, the right function script here, I pretty much just commented out the entire velocity diff here. I pretty much erased this entire freaking math equation here, and just replace it with 1. I don't think this entire variable matters at all. So if I multiply this with the rest of the operation here, which is push direction times velocity diff times push force, velocity diff in push will just pretty much not have any effect at all to the impulse velocity. So I'm just rendering it at 1 because I don't need it. And that's pretty much how I was able to make this entire freaking flipper, this entire flipper logic. So now for this stream, I guess what we'll be doing, since we're keeping this short, I will be applying. I'll be setting up the logic for the left flipper here as well as the upper left flipper, and then maybe we will make the logic for the spring points here, because I think I might be able to use this code in a way to create the spring logic for the points, the point circles here. So we'll be doing that right now, I guess. So with that being said, let's do this first. So for the left flipper, what I'll do first is create a character body 3D. All right. And I guess while I'm mentioning this, I might as well tell you guys that for most of the objects in this board that will change the impulse velocity of my pinball, I will be making them all a character body 3D. I'm not sure if that will lag out my game, but again, the reason why I'm making everything a character body 3D is to get access to this special function that I can only get in character body 3D called get slide collision count. Because for some reason this isn't really applicable to rigid, to static body 3Ds. Hold on, let me just check that out. Static body 3D. If I change the static body 3D, will this? Oh yeah, it changes everything here. So yeah, I guess we'll make everything, anything in this board that will manipulate the impulse velocity of my pinball, I will turn it into a character body 3D, which I think is pretty much too excessive for me in my opinion, because we are not really moving these objects whatsoever. But hey, I mean, that's how it goes, I guess. So let's do this, shall we? Okay, first off, for the character body 3D, we'll make the mesh of this a child of the character body 3D, and while we're at it, we can also change this to a left flipper. We'll rename to left flipper here, and then I'm pretty sure I also did something with the axis lock of this. Yeah. Let's see. Under left flipper, under axis lock, we will lock everything here. Because I guess another thing I noticed when I was working with the spring mechanism here for my pinball machine is that whenever the ball falls down, the pinball holder section of the spring gets pushed down with the ball, and the reason why is because the collision mask is set. The collision mask of this is making it react with the force that's being exerted by the rigid body here. So to do that, I pretty much just made sure that all masks for this pinball holder is turned off, and when it launches, under the script here, when it launches, it will change the collision mask to 2, which is where the pinball is, so that it is able to deliver the impulse velocity of this push away rigid body's function. So when it is not reacting to anything, it will not have any collision mass. I think I only set this 24 because nothing is really no object is really under the 24th mask here. But when I release it, it will change the collision mass to 2, which is where the pinball is, and that way it can apply this push away rigid bodies. Now as for this flipper, I think I did the same thing here. I maybe just changed a little bit of some values here, because applying that same line of code to the right flipper still moves it for some reason. So I pretty much just locked its linear velocity here it's linear x, y, and z under the axis lock, and then use the same logic. Then maybe change a little bit of the add friction here to, I don't know, make sure it doesn't move whatsoever. So that's how I was able to make this. Okay, back to making the left flipper logic. Let's make a collision shape, 3D. And I guess while we're at it, I'm going to move this slightly down here. I don't know, I just want to test something out first. See if this works. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's one thing I might still have problems with. It's the logic. It's this freaking flipper here. It's too darn thick. Although maybe what I can do maybe is let me just change it to here. There we go. Apply the logic once more. Play the game once more. I mean, okay, it's back to normal. I think what I can do here maybe is, since the ball will only get access to the backside if it goes on here, what I can do maybe is, if it maybe starts going down here, I'll maybe create an area of 3D here to change the collision mask of my pinball where it cannot detect maybe the wall. The right flipper when it gets to this area here. We can do that maybe. But for now, let's just stick to this here. Left flipper. Actually, let's say this is a branch. Say branch is seen under GD scripts. I don't know, GD script scenes. Left flipper. Save. Okay. And then under here, we will create a box shape. Let's just rotate it a little bit. Make sure it kind of aligns with the left flipper here, and move this here, move this here, and move this here. Okay. And then maybe we can reuse some code. Let's see if we can reuse this code for this. Oh wait, we can't. Or we could. Wait, let me create an export var here. Export var. Export var. Key. We got this key. Export var key string. There we go. Okay, and then let's do key. And key. Alright. Alright, there we go. Okay, so let's go down here. I think the name of the input I created here is named right trigger. Okay, right trigger. Let's see, string. Right flipper. Right trigger. Okay, let's just see if this works for my right flipper. If it still responds. There we go. Okay. Oof. All right. So next. This next thing is no, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I need. And then under left flipper, we will add a script. Use the VOD script. Right flipper, open. Loading existing, load. Yep, there we go. Alright, so for this one, we will use left trigger. If you guys are doing this, I suggest you make the input maps first. This mine is already set right here. Okay, so if I play this game now, it doesn't. Oh wait, this one I forgot. Key. It has to be key as well. Key. Alright. I'm gonna have to also change the rotation parameters here as well. Yeah. Rotation.y. Let me see. Equals 0. Rotation speed times delta. Let's create an export var. Rotation. Underscore speed. Float. Okay. 15, my flipper. Let me make this negative 15. And then over here we will make rotation speed. syntax may be confusing, but hey, I'm the only one working on this game. Okay. Then I need the export var. Export var rotation extent float equals -1.21. Rotation extent else rotation speed. Okay. So going back then. Now under left flipper, God dang. Okay, let me just do a quick. Actually, before we do that, let me just erase the. Hashtag pass. Let me erase all print functions here, and then rotation.y plus equals 1 times delta. Control K. Underscore delta. Print rotation dot y. And then print the key rotation.y. So it's already linked to the freaking just a quick debugging session here. Okay, left trigger is somewhere around 1.21. Okay. Let me just change this to here. Control K. Control K. Alright. What? Oh, it has something to do with the... Oh, it's already less than, wait. Gosh darn it. I do it here. Can I at least put, you see, print key. Okay. I need to change the comparison here, but I can't just... Finally I have to make some logic. Do I need to make some more logic? At export bar flip rotation There we go. Times float, flip, rotation. I'm gonna put this on true. Okay. Okay, it's messing everything up now. That sucks. Else, rotation that line moves the water. This. Okay, maybe let's do some quick debugging here. The left flipper, maybe we can change this as 0.5 maybe. Nope. Okay. minus equals 1. Oh, it's a frick. I think I may have confused the bool for negative a negative one. Alright. Okay, that's a problem. I'm gonna comment this out. Alright, let's just make this a float. Let's just make it a float. I don't really care anymore. Rotation. Is there a hint range I can use? No? Okay. Or a range. Can I do range? No. Okay, I'll just go float here. Alright. We'll make this left flipper -1 and this right flipper 1. Alright. Times flip rotation. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let me do it one more time. Alright, hey, it's working. Okay, now I just need to... Alright, good. Alright, now... Wait, why did it launch? What the fuck? Alright, the friggin' left flipper is working. I guess we can also apply this logic to the other flipper here. Okay. Use for this flipper. Yeah, let's make character body 3D. Top left flipper. And a collision shape 3D. I just realized that this might have a... No, I actually know. Create like an arc collision mask for this one, maybe. Okay. So we do this, and then say branches, scene, scenes, top left flipper, save. Okay. So under here, let's make a box shape 3D. Wait first. Let me see if I can go down to pinball. Solver. Drew continuous collision detectors used. Let me just try this out. Oh my god, Sure, I'll try this continuous CD out just to see how it works. Let's apply this to the right flipper. Okay, it doesn't work. So we'll just turn this off. We will also move this back to where it was. Okay. And shoot, it goes. Alright, what else? Yeah, we need some logic to this. There's gotta be a way for me to make sure that this gets detected. Oh well. Top left flipper. Scenes, GD scripts. Character body 3D. Right flipper. Load? Okay. This will be triggered by the left trigger as well. What were my negative 15, 1.21, negative 1. Okay. Negative 1, negative 15, and 1.21. Okay, so now if I play this, this will Q. Oh, there we go. Okay. Nice. Okay, nice. Oh. Oh shit. I don't know why, but whenever I see the ball going towards that... Oh, what the fuck? Whenever I see the ball going towards the left-hand side of this, towards the top left trigger, my instinct is to is to press the left trigger for some reason. Okay, so it works. And it's gone. Okay. Alright, so we got the triggers working. Now, let's focus on applying the script for the points here. Because right now these what do you even call this, like bumpers? These bumpers aren't manipulating the impulse at all. What the frick? So let's try this out on one of this, shall we? Character body 3D. And let's get a collision shape. Bumper free, and we'll add a cylinder. Since these are not moving, I think I can make these as small as possible. I think. Okay. So if this were to play right now, yep, it's pretty much responds to that. So let's apply some code to this. Bumper free. We'll just call it bumper for now. Create. We'll delete everything here in the past. We're gonna get this same code right here. We'll just manipulate some parts of it. Okay. Push away rigid bodies. Okay. Pass. Not declared in the current scope. I think I don't need this right now. There we go. All right. Wait, this should work right now, right? Wait. Push direction, velocity, and diff, get position. Let's see. Wait. This. Okay. Push direction max. X1. Let's comment this out. Pinball to get a lighter. We'll see. Let's comment this out. Push force. Not doing anything. Search of apply impulse. Applies a position impulse to the body, and impulse is time dependent. Make blank emphasis every frame. Direction times velocity diff. Push direction times push force. Minimum 1. I freaking don't get this. Go 10 or 100. Nope. Nope, it still doesn't work. Push force 100. Can I function ready? Or wait, no, I need to apply this to the actual. Oh wait, I forgot to. Oh my god. A bumper, bumper. I push away rigid bodies. There we go. I guess we can just comment out delta here. It still doesn't work. What the frick? Okay, what if I just do this? Nope. My impulse. Push direction. Is he not getting this? Okay. Okay, how about this? Can at least detect the slide collision? Nope. Okay. Oh wait, is it because I think I may go down to the collision here. Oh, yep, there it is. Alright, so let's probably change it. Let's see. And it still doesn't work. What the fuck? Pinball. 1 free. Maybe something I'm missing with the rigid body, I think. Close. I think it's getting the nope, it's not getting the freaking script either. Oh wait, it's not detecting the freaking collision, I forgot. Okay. Why is it not detecting the collision though? Okay, it can detect the spring. Why can it not detect? Can it not detect the cylinder? Can I at least print this? Wait, print. Yes. Okay, so it can detect this. Oh, move and slide, I forgot. Wait. Move. Move and slide. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go, it's reacting now. So, let me just do this. Do this. Do this. What else? Yep, that's it. And then let's play it. Oh, okay, that's that's too much, I think. Let's apply a push force of 10. Let's go with that. And I guess while we're at it, we should also make a darn. You need to make a darn roof for this, just to make sure it doesn't. Make sure this thing doesn't like launch itself out of the map. So let's make a this one. Maybe this. Can I duplicate this? Okay. Oh wait. No, I want a new collision shape. Collision shape 3D. Somewhere around here. Let's see, that should we can make it a bit higher maybe. Okay. Non-uniformity, what? There we go. Alright, let's add one more collision shape. 3D. On the somewhere here. Alright, let's test this sucker out. Okay, I might have to like let's see. We decrease it by 2 maybe. It could be maybe the push direction was too much. Alright, that's hella weak. Let's go with this. Oh, ooh, baby! Oh my god, it's playing, guys. Look at that. Okay, so I guess we'll apply the same script towards the rest of this. Of these meshes here. Let's go down back to here. Bumper free. We're here. We'll also create a character body 3D. Add child. No. Character body 3D. And let's duplicate this. Where is it? This collision shape 3D. Duplicate it. Move it down to here. and I can see shit when it's like this. Go bumper 2. We'll attach the same scripts. Where is it? Bumper. Load existing file. Sure, we'll do that. And then bumper 1. Bumper 1. Let's attach a script to this. Same bumper script. Load. Alright. Now, if I were to play this. Okay, one more time. Let's see. This way, yeah. It's somewhere here. Oh wait, I forgot. Let's go down to where is it? Where is it? Bumper 2, collision. It's gonna be spring as well, I think. Same thing for this. Collision. Okay. Yep, there we go. Now, the spring should work by now. Okay. Keeps on ending up in that hole for some reason. Okay. Let's test this out on this other spring last. Let's do it right here, maybe? Ah, there we go. Hey, it works! Okay, nice. How long have I been streaming, by the way? hour 35. Wow, we still have a lot of time. Okay, I guess we can try to Alright, so I guess it's now time to work on this thing next. Okay, let's create a... Now, here's now the problem. If I were to... drag this up here, create here, and then we create a collision shape, we might have a problem here. Is this is there a rectangle I can use here? No. Oh god. Oh wait, no, I can use... That's not quite the convex polygon. Okay, sure, we'll stick with this for now. Let's see if we create a... Control A collision shape 3D. Okay, no error. Okay, we got our box here. No error so far, that's great. God, there's so many dang collisions here to keep track of. And over here we can create a... call this the right wing spring. And we'll attach the script. Get the bumper. And finally the collision should detect the pinball. There we go. Let's let's change the place where this pinball lands, I guess. Okay. Here. Okay. All right, that's nice. Now I wonder though, if I were to place this somewhere here. Let's... okay, I'm gonna just lock all of this here. There we go. I guess we're supposed to do it for these items here as well, huh? Lock the access for all of them. Okay, that works, I guess. Okay, well, let's do the other one. Saving left wing spring one. Oh, this freaking goddamn thing here. And then we do it for this one here as well. Wing spring, then the character body 3D. Okay, nice. There we go. And a collision shape 3D. Nice. There we go. collision shape 3D. It's gonna go and this. Nope. Okay. Let's get back to the pinball machine here. Collision 2. Okay. And the left wing spring should have load. Okay. Okay. One more thing. Access lock turned on. Let me just move the pinball down to here. Nice. Okay. How long have I been streaming? Now we're 49 minutes. Okay, so I guess this will be it for the stream, guys. I know. Wait. No, let's make this official. Let's just first let's get the surface here. Where's the albedo? Albedo. Alright, let me see this material here. The flipper. Oh my god, they're in the freaking. Okay, here. Alright, there we go. If we play this right now... Oh my god, it works, guys, look at that! Alright, just to make it look much more impressive, we will disable collision shapes. Okay, that's been bugging out since we started here. Yep, there we go. Oh my god, it's bouncing. Oh, boom! Okay, we still need to work out the, let me see. We still need to work out how the ball will react when it enters a hole. As well as, figure out a way for this ball to get towards the second floor here. Hey, it works, guys. Look at that. Let me just make this bigger for you guys if you can't see it. Go. Look at that, it works, guys. I'll be playing with this a little bit. I'm just so impressed with the fact that I was able to get the physics here correctly. Now, the only thing I might have to work on is whenever the ball lands on one of the holes, I want it to spawn on one of the free random holes I have in the board here, and then when it lands on one of these two saving springs here in the left and right wing of the bottom of the board here, I want it to spring back upwards. Through like a timed event, and if the ball lands on this spot for a couple of more times, I want this shutter to go down when it reaches a certain number of when it gets to this spot a certain number of times. So that'll be a problem for future me to figure out. And then of course you need to figure out how to get the ball to the second floor here, because right now it has no way of getting to there. So that will be what we'll be doing on our next stream. So yeah, I think a way for me to get the ball to here is if I apply an impulse velocity somewhere along this ramp or something. Not sure yet how I'll be able to do that. But we will. But future me is the one that'll be figuring that out, and we will just be leaving this as is for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be able to finish this board in about a week or two. So with that being said, go read the book, guys. Bye bye.